Welcome to Vicious Rabbit Gaming. I'm M, and today we're going to be doing a gun review of the Bolt Sniper Rifle. This is after patch 7.1's hotfixes. So the Bolt Sniper Rifle is scoped, semi-automatic, and my personal favorite. It fires a 1 caliber or 25.4 millimeter projectile, and it's nasty. You can quick scope with it really effectively. You can put rounds down range with very little recoil once you get your perks out. Normally, I get 3 headshots on a Majoris to put them into execute. 2 to 3. Depends on circumstance and what other perks other people are running. But overall, probably my favorite weapon in the entire game, the Roma Sniper. So, that's kind of a rough rundown of what it is. We're going to go check out a bit of a closer look on it, show you some of the different skins, ways you can customize it and show it off to your friends. All right, so once you get it up to max, there's 3 different variants in the relic tier. You have more ammo, stronger, faster fire rate. Now, personally, I run more ammo. The more ammo you have, the more shots you can get down. And for only being 1 damage less, I find there's no noticeable difference in the damage, but there's noticeable difference in ammo efficiency. And ammo efficiency is key, in my opinion, when running Absolute. So as far as how you can have it look, so you have some of your relic, you have the black and gold variants and the white and gold variants, which, I mean, if you're into the ornate stuff, that's an option. It can be pretty cool. You also have chains, giving off some serious Templar vibes, which, fair enough. And then you have more of a gunmetal, this unfinished, unblackened variant of the weapon. I personally like to go with the blackened, a little bit of a purity seal on it. These are personally my 2 favorite variations of the weapon. Clean, simple. And then you have the base model. Now, the base model, there's no customization on it, very bare bones. But, if you're running a bare bones chapter like the Raptors, it can fit really, really well. I personally like to have at least 1 purity seal on there. I just feel like it adds to the aesthetic. As far as perks, these are the perks I run. So I go for more damage at distance because I like to engage at distance. I like this perk. These 2 perks, I really don't like that much. When your health is below 30, you deal 25% more damage. Sometimes you get there as a sniper, especially when you're using your shadow step perk, where you get stealth when you're at low health, which I'll show that in a minute. And then the recoil being reduced, I guess, does help with flow, but it's less important in my opinion. However, the maximum ammo reserve, just getting that as the perk, I really like that perk. And compared to these finisher weapon reloads and just raw damage increase, this 30% or this 25%, this is only 10. And the bottom tree, I just prefer overall. But you have a lot of different options. There's really no bad options. The low ammo damage increase for 25% for 5 seconds. That can be good, but ideally you wouldn't have low ammo. You're getting ammo back. You're trying to maintain and conserve that ammo for priority targets. So I prefer the low health to the low ammo. Also, I go with the maximum ammo reserve of this weapon increased by 20%. Really like that perk. The while reloading is I normally reload in a roll. It's normally when I'm reloading is I've emptied an entire magazine, stuff is starting to swarm me, and I'm rolling to reload. So I feel like I want to get another perk besides this one. Just the opportunity cost isn't there for me. Now, the last round of a magazine deals 50% more damage. There have been a lot of priority targets in front of me, and that's the only time I go through a full magazine. And I want that last shot to do 50% more damage if I'm going through headshots on Extremis or Majoris to the extent that I need to reload before the engagement's done. This one, super important. 50% of the number of enemies hit cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity for your ammo being restored, that's super good if you're popping headshots to get enemies in execute for your melee brethren who are up there. I normally don't shoot something in execute. I get it in execute, move on to the next target. So this allows me to get a fair bit of ammo back. I like to take this penetrating the block stances because this weapon penetrates more than one enemy. So it being able to get through someone with a block stance to hit some Minoris behind it or another Majoris behind it, and still getting some damage, I find value in that. The restores and armor segment versus 10% against Terminus, I'm going to take 10% Terminus every time. That's kind of what I go with as far as the bolt sniper rifle. Now, the reason why I go with it, the way I go with it, is for this one. When you receive lethal damage, Camo Cloak automatically activates without spending a charge, and you become invulnerable for 5 seconds. This synergizes well with the low health perk. And when you start getting into prestige ranks, performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 15% of your primary weapon's ammo. That, complemented by getting 50% of the target's hit ammo back, allows me to keep my ammo up consistently. And between the ammo and getting a boost of damage from loss of health, I find that this build works really well for me. I don't have all my perks finished out on this right now. I'm not quite done with Prestige 4. But let's go ahead and just get into a game. So this is classic for the sniper. The closer range guys are going to start engaging, and I'm going to stun and take care of that Majoris. Xeno Scum needs to chill out. So I'm going to let the melee characters focus, and I'm going to get rid of the high priority targets.
Fester and rot, Xenos abomination.
So with this weapon, I can reach out and touch those high priority targets. I can keep them from attacking my guys. Get them into that execute stance so they can get back their armor. And that's really the gameplay loop around this gun and how to optimize it. Whenever you're dealing with anything, you know, lesser than a Majoris, you really, really want to just use those sidearms to conserve that ammo. This is what I was talking about with the quick scopes. Being able to quick scope those big targets allows you to put some damage on them. If you get into trouble, you can always stealth.
Inserting fresh magazine.
So right there was a really good play. I was able to pull the enemies in. They laid a trap. We took them all out at once. So that right there was a classic example of shooting through multiple enemies. Getting a good headshot lineup.
Neutralize the Xenos behemoth. Frag grenade.
That's how you do it.
Back on the resilience.
Getting those headshots is vital with this weapon to really, you know, get the most out of it. So waiting and taking the shot is definitely preferred sometimes.
Again, we need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates the bulk of the swarm will not be in position for a while yet. Keep your heads and get it done.
So with this weapon, you are the ultimate enemy of the zone through. Be able to get a good line on them from a high distance, and they really can't do anything against you, but you can do everything against them.
Excellent work. Move to extract.
All right, so now you just got to see some PvE action with the bolt sniper rifle. And I know what you're asking yourself. Well, how does it do in PvP? So this is where it's a little more funky. The slow fire rate and the relative just overall lower damage of the weapons in PvP means that if you're not able to accurately lead those shots or get quick scopes off really well, then it's a much less forgiving weapon overall. You get caught in a reload without the ability to stealth, and you're a sitting target with low armor. So that's where, in PvP, I don't know that I would say that this is my best recommendation of a weapon. Now, it's one of those things where it's a, just a really high skill cap, and the entry point's a little high. You have to have pretty good reflexes and good skill with changing your visual very suddenly to utilize it. I mean, you have to really peek and a couple other things. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how it goes in PvP, but that's one of those things where just keep in mind that a gun can be really, really good depending on use case. You can't create distance in all of your PvP matches. And as a result of that, you end up in a scenario where at close range, if you're not at the top of your game, it's not going to serve you as well as, say, some other weapons. So if you can get the shot off, it's excellent. But you have to create those long angles. You need space. And you have to keep moving your position, because the enemy team is going to get super pissed off at you for using this weapon. So you have to continue to move around. You're basically performing like firing line denial is how I look at it when you're utilizing this weapon. And the biggest thing is they're going to try to flank.
Active camouflage charged.
So just keep that in mind. Like sitting up in one position.
Rally point updated.
So right there, I couldn't find that guy. He found me, because you're going to get pushed. And when you get pushed, that's when you're going to have a problem. If you can maintain that distance, then you're going to have a better time. But it's really PvP. There's no one size fits all. And you can shed their armor. It's just getting those kill shots. When you get a headshot, it is satisfying. So it's just one of those things where, like I was saying, it's just a much higher skill cap overall. So, bolt sniper rifle, overall score for PvE operations, 10 out of 10. Not having to wait for recharge, the high damage, the ammo efficiency you can gain when you get into higher levels with it. I just, no faults with it. I love this gun for that mode all the time. Now for PvP, I'm going to put this more at a 6 out of 10. It has to fit your individual playstyle, and the skill cap on utilizing it effectively is relatively high. It's not for everybody. I think for the sniper class specifically, there's some better options for the PvP use case. Just because of the speed of the matches, how quickly the map gets flanked around. It's not always going to be, I think, the best tool for every use case in that circumstance. Whereas for the operations mode, I think it is probably the best tool in the sniper's arsenal. So yeah, that is the weapon review for the bolt sniper rifle in Space Marine 2. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another weapon review.